Hey guys, welcome back to another interview here on Toned In Entertainment. Today, I'm joined by independent wrestler, and he's also been seen on AEW recently, Ryan Pyles. How are you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Everything's cool. We're here at the end of May. Some crazy stuff going on in the world, but it seems like maybe that's opened up a little bit of doors in wrestling to some of you independent guys.
I think so, and it's been going on for such a long time. It almost feels normal being in quarantine now, and it doesn't feel it feels wrong for everything to go back to normal. But I'm really hoping it does because there's a lot of big things coming up in the future, and Ryan Pyles is here to stay, and I'm here to keep my name going and just to keep showing out.
No, that was awesome, man. It's been so great that AEW has been focusing and showcasing a lot of independent wrestlers who normally wouldn't get the shot. I mean, they do feature them on Dark every once in a while, and that's where you've been featured. But a lot of guys have kind of like now made a name for themselves, kind of being on the big show. I mean, I've had a personal friend of mine, Fabu Andre, wrestle John Moxley. Serpentico wrestled Darby Allin.
Absolutely.
You got in the ring with Wardlow.
And two dudes who are just a little bit bigger than me. I wouldn't say that much, just a little bit.
Just a little bit bigger. Now, yeah, because Wardlow was your first match that you had.
Yeah.
How intimidating of a guy is Wardlow, to be honest?
What's funny is Wardlow, he's a great dude, very good worker, and him being with MJF, they're almost the perfect duo. When I was actually in the ring, I was telling myself in the head as he was walking in, taking all of his clothes off, like, don't break eye contact with them. Stay and keep the eye contact so I don't seem intimidated. But the whole overall experience was it was wonderful. Everyone there treated me with respect and gave me great advice, and just everyone was wonderful there. Absolutely great experience. Even though I landed straight on my face, and even though there was no fans there, I still felt like the pressure and still felt like there was, because these are legit production, it's a legit camera, it's legit everything. Everything has to be taken seriously, and that's what Ryan Pyles is about. I'm all about business. I'm all about wanting to take things seriously, and I've been blessed to have these opportunities and hope more will come soon.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I don't see why more wouldn't come. I mean, being on AEW, it's a big deal, and it's good things. I mean, it's my personal favorite promotion going on. AEW has, for me, honestly, as being a wrestling fan for 40 years, brought me back to professional wrestling. I dropped off, to be perfectly honest, and last year, it's been a year now since Double or Nothing. I brought the pay-per-view. I saw Cody Rhodes' interview that he did with Chris Van Vliet. He said, trust me, we're going to make something special. I invested my $50 in that pay-per-view. I have not looked back since. I've watched every show.
And that's the right thing to do. See, even though that there's no fans in the crowd during these times, like AEW is still putting on, in my opinion, the best product out there. They're still helping people, going through the times that they're going through, or they're giving you something to watch, and they're absolutely destroying their bodies doing it because they love professional wrestling, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Now, you got into the ring also with 10. That was your match most recently. Part of the Dark Order. Did they try to put a mask on you at the end when you went back to the locker room? Did they try to recruit you?
No mask at all. Just a little 4-minute beat up. It was fine with me though. I got my little licks in, but maybe next time we'll do a little bit better. But overall, even though I got beat up, still great experience and able to put myself out there and get into some new shoes, because I'm only 19 years of age, and I would have never thought. I've only been a wrestling fan for about 11 years. I never would have thought only 11 years later, not even 20 years of age. I'm not 20. Tony Schiavone said I was 20. I'm 19. Only being 19 years of age, I would have never thought it would come so quick, but I'm very happy that it has.
That's true, because I did hear Tony Schiavone. Actually, when I was talking to my girlfriend, I was like, the guy I'm interviewing tonight, Ryan Pyles, he's 20 years old. Because that's what Tony Schiavone said. But 19, that's even, wow, man. You're still 2 years away from even having a beer with the Hangman.
I know, right? Legally have a beer, at least.
Yes, well, what don't we do that's legal, right?
Right.
Now, it says on your Facebook profile that you train at the Nightmare Factory. Is that correct?
That is correct. So originally I was trained when I was 15 years old. I started the business when I was 15 in 2016, and I was only training locally by two guys named Caden Said and Matt Madison, who were just kind of, they haven't really been anywhere, like AEW, but they're still a big deal to me because they're my trainers, and in my opinion, they're the best unsigned talent out there, and they really showed me the ropes and showed me all the basics and fundamentals and tried to really put me in a good position before I started training, because I had trained for about a year and a half before I ever stepped in the ring, so I was 17. But I wanted to join the Nightmare Factory because I really wanted to hone my skills and learn from QT Marshall, who is, in my opinion, like one of the best like overall performers, workers, people. It blew my mind the first day. Even on the first day, all the things he could pick out that are just the smallest things, but they're the most important. So I wanted to go to that school just to kind of show my face and learn all the brand new things and just get better as my persona, my stage self, my wrestling, everything. And it's been a wonderful experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, because like QT, when he comes out, as far as like his character, he's not one of the flashier guys.
Right.
But I actually got to see him wrestle here in Miami a couple months ago when they had Dynamite here. I went to that show, of course. And he really won me over that night. He had such a great match that night. And he showed kind of like how really good he is. At least to me personally, that night was the night he won me over as a wrestler. And I've only heard good things from him as far as being a trainer as well.
Oh yeah, QT Marshall is a wonderful person and an even better trainer, because I'll openly say this out. I almost broke his nose on the second week of training, and what happened was we were doing this little drill that involved chain wrestling, and I was doing it with him because he knew I had a little bit of prior experience, and we were doing this part of the drill where he had me in this move called the hammerlock, and to transition more into the drill, I had to snap mare him over me, and as he rolled, I would roll over him or like roll past him. But the thing is, on top of him having his head in the way, I mistimed the roll, so I rolled at the wrong time, and I rolled straight on his face. Now, on top of the thought of like someone rolling on your face, he actually had a reconstructive surgery on his nose back in last September. So he told me that if you just flick his nose, it would start bleeding. So when I rolled on him, he was like holding his nose, and we saw like the blood go down like his hoodie that he was wearing, and I felt just absolutely terrible about it. But the thing is, I look up to him so much and look back on it with pride, because like QT could have easily just blamed it on me and like chewed me out, and that's what I was expecting too, but he handled it with such professionalism. He didn't blame me, because in wrestling, accidents are going to happen. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't really my fault. It just happens. And he handled that with such professionalism, and he almost like felt bad for me because I felt so bad, and I'll always respect him for that. I really appreciate what he did for me, and he got me the spot in AEW, and he did not have to do that, but I'm very grateful that he gave me that shot.
No, that's awesome. And I'm sure like the one thing you don't want to do is break your trainer's nose. Like that's probably the one person.
Not. And thankfully it didn't break, but it sure looked like it did.
Okay. Does he like make you guys eat apples or something if you do something wrong?
No, there's no apples involved, but he does make us do a lot of drills and learn all the basic stuff that you would learn in wrestling school. But no apples. His wife, Carolyn, gives us like our meal plans, and that was another reason why I wanted to go to the school, because they have an actual gym there, and it would help me put on a little bit of size, because even though on AEW, I'm only about 165 pounds, but just 6 months ago, before I joined the school, I was only about 150, so I actually gained a lot of weight going to the school, and she's wonderful. She knows her stuff, and she really helped me out a lot with putting on weight and helping me lift more weights and just overall get in better shape.
Oh, that's awesome. Ryan, who were some of your influences that made you want to be a professional wrestler?
So when I was growing up, a lot of my favorite wrestlers were more of the chaining guys. So I got into wrestling when I was 8 years old from a friend of mine who showed it to me, and I just kind of watched WWE for a bit. But then the match that actually got me into it was Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness at Unified, and he showed me that match, and when I watched it, just the chemistry between those guys and like the way they made it look so legit it just absolutely blew my mind. And the segment they did afterwards and the crowd being so like emotionally invested into it just blew my mind. And really, after watching that match, it was the guys that were very technical that I like to look up to. So I watched a lot of Billy Robinson. I liked watching Jushin Thunder Liger, and of course Bryan Danielson. But yeah, it was mostly the technical guys. And my favorite wrestler of all time is Pac. because Pac, before he signed with WWE and when he was in WWE, I used to watch him because his athletic ability and his movements literally left me like awe-inspired. And everyone goes through hard times and they try to push through it. And he was the guy that I like to watch that just canceled out all the things that were going on at my house life or school life, whatever. Because I was a young kid, and growing up, you're kind of trying to learn the ropes by having experiences, and he helped me through a lot of that.
Well, that's cool. I mean, Pac, yeah, he's definitely like a legit fighter, and he's been missing on AEW for a while now. I know there's been a bunch of guys missing for, various types of reasons, so hopefully Pac, the bastard himself, will be back in the ring soon, definitely. Mm-hmm. Now, here on Toned In Entertainment, we're more than just a wrestling, I love the independent wrestling scene. Love it. I fell in love with it about a year ago. Got like 50 interviews here with independent wrestlers. Love the independent scene. Been covering that, but haven't strayed away. We've got movie reviews, we've got comics, we've got music, we've got all kinds of good stuff. What would be one of your favorite movies of all time?
So my favorite movie of all time, as of 2 years ago, is Deadpool 2. It's kind of a weird one, but before that, my childhood movie and leading up to when Deadpool 2 came out, my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. I absolutely love Michael J. Fox. I love Christopher Lloyd. I love Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg. All of those guys are just wonderful. And if you ask me, Back to the Future, they were made in the 80s, but they were way ahead of its time. And just like the goofiness, the morals, all of it, I just fell in love with. Really good movies.
Now you say Back to the Future like it's on Netflix now, finally. They put it on.
Yeah, I was so hyped about that. I actually got my girlfriend, I've been dating her for about 2 years. She finally just watched it the other day, and she loved it too, which I was happy about. Right. So I tried showing her some Marvel movies, and she wasn't really that interested in them, so I was kind of discouraged going into Back to the Future, but she loved it.
You know what? If I ever think that there's like a perfect, flawless movie, I think it's Back to the Future.
I think so too. And of course, like when you're dealing with time travel, there's going to be some plot holes. But if you can look past that, when you break it down to how it makes you feel and like the story behind it, and just like the overall motivations behind the characters, I think it's a perfect movie. Absolutely.
Right. Now, do you have any like pre-match rituals?
I wouldn't say rituals. I just kind of like to stretch out because I would hate to get like an injury because it didn't stretch. I'm very big into like warming up, making myself kind of get the blood flowing a little bit, because a lot of towns that I go to, they don't like Ryan Pyles, and Ryan Pyles does not like them. So I have to kind of get prepared to get all this heat and all this like hate from people that I got to kind of pump myself up to be the bad guy, even though in my head I'm the good guy. So that's just me. I try to just kind of amp myself up a little bit.
Any music of choice that you would put on to listen to maybe get yourself hyped up?
Believe it or not, the theme song that I come out to on the indies is called El Chapo by The Game and Skrillex. And it's hilarious because a lot of people who've heard me come out to that, they look at me and they hear that song and they don't expect just this little like clean cut kid to walk out to it. But it's really gotten a lot of fans so angry at me because like that song doesn't fit you, and I laugh at them because I can do whatever I want.
So I think exactly.
So I think, yeah, El Chapo, and I would say that's about it. I don't really listen to much music, to be honest.
Okay. Well, hey, you're the one that's lacing up the boots. You're the one that's putting your body on the line. You can come out to any theme song you want to.
Right.
Right. Now, after the match, you've burned all those calories. You're looking for something to chow down on. What's like a guilty go-to meal you'd love to have after a big match?
Hands down, the first thing that comes to mind, if it's not something healthy, is Taco Bell. Okay. Taco Bell has always been just the weakness of mine. And like I said, my trainers, Caden Sade and Matt Madison, we travel on the road a lot. We go to a lot of shows. Every single time a show's over, they're always insisting, we should go to Taco Bell. And I'm like, no, guys, we have to stick to our meal plans. But I always just fall for it and then get Taco Bell. But definitely that. Or it's either that or Cookout. I love me some Cookout, too.
Okay. Yeah, who doesn't love a good barbecue?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, I know things are weird right now. We're approaching Memorial Day weekend here when we're doing this interview. And, things are really up in the air. What's going on? Do you kind of have like a sense or an idea of maybe when your next set of matches might be?
Whenever they are. So some Tennessee shows, because I'm from Nashville, so there's Tennessee shows everywhere. A lot of the shows are kind of opening back up, leaning towards early June. The thing is, though, I still have 4 weeks left at the Nightmare Factory, like, because I'm doing their 12-week program, and we're starting back up on May 25th, which is next Monday. So after that 4 weeks is done, then I'll probably start going back to shows, and hopefully by end of June, people start opening back up more, fans are going to start to come in, and then Ryan Pyles will kick it back into full gear.
So it seems like it might be like really good timing because, you know, you get your 4 weeks in, you get all that training, and then things hopefully by July will be ready to rock and roll, and we can get some independent wrestling back going up here.
Especially because, like, I've been losing all the in-ring cardio. Most guys have because they haven't been able to train. So once I get in the ring and blow myself up a little bit, hopefully I'll be ready to go by July or late June or whenever it may come.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, it's been great chatting with you tonight. And if people want to look you up, you know, where can they find you at, Ryan?
So Instagram and Twitter is at Robert Ryan Pyles, and Facebook is just Ryan Pyles. This is the One Take Ryan Pyles. I'm very important, and do not question it. But that's where you can hit me up.
All right, yeah, I did see it was One Take Ryan Pyles, and we did this interview in one take. No editing needed whatsoever, and hey, we both nailed it. So One Take Toned In Entertainment, One Take Ryan Pyles coming at you.
You're proper, one take.
All right, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me here on Toned In Entertainment tonight.
Thank you for having me. You be safe, all right?
Yeah, definitely, and much success in the future, and we'll be looking for you hopefully soon back on AEW.
I hope so, too. Thank you very much for the support.
All right, Ryan. Have a great night.
All right, be safe.
All right. Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.